Hello friends, welcome to Apex Chess Academy. I am Firenze Rahmal Thanki. Today's our topic is dealing with or taking advantage of bad opening play or the bad opening choice. So today I am going to show you one game where it was played in between two strong players. White was Deepan Chakravarti. He's a very strong Indian grandmaster, and he's facing a player, Himal Gusain. He's a very good player, a very cool player. In fact, the way he presses the clock is just amazing. So if you have not seen him playing a chess tournament and pressing a clock, I would really advise you to see him. I mean, he's a fantastic player and he's an interest master and is going to become a GM very soon. I'm very sure about him. Okay, and actually he has a very vast opening repertoire, and but okay, in this particular game actually I was not satisfied with his opening choice. Well, I'm not talking about the initial stage, but I'm talking about the move number 13, what he has played in this game. This game was played in National Senior in 2019 December, and it was sixth round. And let's check the initial move so you can easily understand what I'm going to say. Now let's say e4, c5, knight f3, e6, d4, cd4, knight d4, knight f6, knight c3, knight c6. So of course I'm not going to say anything about this because this is one of the main line, and it is known as four knights in Sicilian. Okay, so it's four knights in e4, e5 is also possible, but this is so called a four knight in Sicilian. And there are few lines here, but the Deepan played one of the best line, which even I am recommending as white, knight into c6, and here d into is of course bad because after action the queen, and white can play even e5, making his c8 bishop bad, so it is forced to take with b pawn. Now e5, attacking the f6 knight, and say after knight d5 the main move here is knight d5. Any other move than knight e4 is just bad because knight d5 simply improves his pawn structure with cd5, and black has double pawns, but which is going to, and black is going to play d6 and freeze double pawns. Both bishops looks fantastic and black has no problem whatsoever after knight d5. But here knight e4 is the strongest move on move number 8, and there are few lines here on move number 8. Some player even directly play queen b6, f5, lots of moves, but okay, here I feel that queen c7 is the strongest move, and that's what Himal played. So after queen c7, f4. So once white played f4, now his king needs some shelter on dark squares, and now only black played queen b6. This is so far the main line, and now c4 here, and now there are again two moves, knight e3 and bishop b4. Okay, so bishop b4 again is the main move, bishop b4 check. And what to do if someone goes for early knight e3, then it's a different case, but here after bishop b4 check you cannot play bishop d2 anymore because of say knight e3, and here let's say king e2, which is the main move and so far best move as well, because after king e2 it looks like white has put his king on e2 in just 11th move, but in fact is a well calculated risk. Lots of white players are playing this line, even I am also playing this line, which is really good enough. Now let's say f5, because if you put your knight back, then there are some trick like say even a3 or knight d6. So I'm not sure that any other move is possible than f5. So f5 is again a main move. So after end person, knight into f6, bishop e3. This is so far all moves are good from both the sides, all moves are accurate, but here I was not sure about this choice. So here Himal played the move queen a6. I'm sure that he is aware of the main line, but maybe he has choose this move queen a6, and this was a mistake. Queen a6, the main move, if you are playing it this position as the black, I would just recommend to go with the move queen d6, and once knight d6 check comes, black should play bishop d6, queen d6, and there are two moves, one is queen e7 and one is bishop b7. I'm basically I'm going with bishop b7 if I'm playing this position as black, because the intention is very clear. White just want to hide his king and try to play some aggressive moves, and if you are not able to improve your bishop on c8, you'll remain passive. So after bishop b7, the main point of black's bishop b7 is to throw his c pawn and improves your bishop on of light square. So after bishop b7, it simply eyes on g2 pawn, and it's not about in fact material. Maybe black loses a pawn after c5, but it's all about improving pieces, right? So if you are keeping a pawn, but if you have 2-3 bad pieces, what is the point? So it's better to play bishop b7. Sometimes you can even play rook c8 and c5. Sometimes you should just throw your c pawn, give up your c pawn, but after bishop b7 and rook c8, you can just see your bishop on b7 and rook on c8, both pieces looks tremendous working together. So after c5 and rook c8, that looks fantastic to me. So this should have been tried, but instead of 13th, queen d8, queen a6 was played. So here you can just pause the video and try to find out the best move as white. And okay, I'm not saying that this whole opening 4 knight is refuted, but the only this queen a6 move on move number 13 is bad. So here okay, I don't like to use the harsh word like crushing this position or crushing the opening, beating this opening. Lots of players are normally when they are writing a book or writing any DVD or just some videos, recording some videos, normally they are using some harsh words and say, okay, beating this line, beating the French, beating the e4, e5. But normally when you are seeing the material, it's not about beating anything, it's just they are showing the ideas. So rather than using the word beating some opening, it's better to use the word learning French, or say let's learn this opening, somewhat like that, right? So okay, here after queen a6, actually after this queen a6 move, white has basically a forced plus position. I mean, after this, let's say after queen a6, Deepan basically played the best move. He played knight into f6 check, pawn into, and now king f2. And now suddenly we can see that this king on f2 looks much safer as compared to king on e8, because king on e8 is not going anywhere. In fact, while king on e8 is not possible to go for even a short castle, long castle is also difficult, while this king on f2 is very secure. Now white's intention after king f2 is queen h5 check, where this king has even a tough job, because if the king has to play king d8, or say even if king e7, the king is very much exposed there. So now bishop e7 was played in game. Now queen h5 check, king d8, and now white keeps developing his pieces. White played bishop e2, so his intention is to play rook h d1, and now you can see the white's king looks much safer. Queen b7, and now rook h d1, and here black went for queen b2. This looks too dangerous to me, because black's all pieces are just badly placed. In fact, no pieces are developed, I would say. So here queen b2 is really tough because it gives more open file to white. So I feel that after queen b2 white has clear advantage, but in fact after move number 13 it's a clear advantage. So this opening selection was bad in fact. Okay, after rook h d1, queen b2, now queen f5 check, king e8, now queen h5 check, king d8. So basically white has repeated for one move, and now white played rook a b1 and inviting to take another pawn, but okay, white declines the another pawn with the move queen c2, and now try to find out the best move as white here. Okay, so here the king on d8 is very bad, and how to take advantage of that? Yes, the only dark square bishop can take advantage, and that's why bishop d2. And always remember our rule of thumb that whenever opponent is playing any piece on first or second rank, which is a sign of maneuvering, so bishop d2 is a sign of maneuvering and bishop will come to a5, and which is not possible to defend now. So bishop d6, bishop a5 check, king e7, and again it looks like okay, black's king is managing to hide on a e square, e7 square, but again watch out for the next move. So just again pause the video, find out the best move. Here white played a crushing move, boom, rook into d6. Now the point is, okay, you are giving both rooks, in fact, a rook on b1, rook on d6, and if you are taking on d6, that allows basically bishop b4 check, king c7, queen f5 check, king b7, and now the rook on b1 is hanging. So after rook b3, now the rook is protected and with the threat of bishop d6, and king is in danger. So on move number 24, after rook d6, white decided to take on b1, and now queen c5. Still this black's king has a very tough time, especially all the dark squares are very weak, and here we can see the quality of the pieces rather than quantity. White is exchanged down, but in fact the dark square bishop does the tremendous job after queen c5. Even say it's not allowing this king to come on this diagonal. So after queen c5, king f7, and now rook d3, another very precise move by white. White simply keeps this black's queen on a passive square, not allowing queen f5 or queen g6. Simply cuts off this queen from the defense, and at the same time he is ready with the rook lift whenever white wants. And another threat is bishop b4 and queen e7 check. All the dark squares are weak. So after queen c2, bishop b4, so black has some threats like queen e7 or the move queen h5, because now this bishop is again doing a very good job cutting off this whole king. So from this diagonal, so now next move is queen h5 check, taking control of second diagonal, and then this rook will join the party after rook g3. So after say d6, which looks almost forced. Now queen d6 might be possible, but Deepan choose another great move, queen h5 check, and even say king e7 would allow some trick on d6. So king g7 was played, but still rook g3 check, and now black is forced to give up a queen after queen g3, but still white is not at all in hurry. Rather than taking a queen on d6, white simply took on queen on g6, white took on d6. Now rook d8, c5, simply cutting off this rook from play, and say after bishop d7, bishop d3, and again forcing this queen to take on g3, and then there is some problem on h7, some queen g4 trick is possible. So this is losing, and black decided to resign. So this was a very beautiful game. Just one mistake, I won't say that there are lots of mistake as black, just the opening selection was bad and white simply outplayed his opponent of a very strong player in fact. So I won't advise to take any bad decision in the opening, and this was a perfect example why we should not play any loose move in the opening. Thanks for watching, friend. Thanks.